Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I'm gonna read you Aiden Fucci's jail messages. So when he was in jail, he sent messages to his dad, his mom. I'm not sure anybody else. We'll see as we go through them. So the first messages are 8/27/2021. So August 27th. So let's do a quick timeline. Tristan was killed around between like 2 and 3 a.m. It was probably closer to 3 a.m. if you take when he ran back home. I'm trying to think what time that was when I think he got home around 3:30. Tristan was found May 9th, 2021, and she was found the next day. Okay, so I went back and looked at the surveillance footage with the times. Now remember the one where it shows them two walking and then him running, that was an hour and a half off. I don't get it why it would be an hour and a half, but I went back to the evidence from the hearing and they put the exact times of these cameras or of this camera that was off. And yeah, it's an hour and a half off. So they were so him and her were walking towards the area that she eventually got killed at around 1:45 a.m. And he was seen running back at 3:22 a.m. So conclusion is she was killed somewhere between 1:45 and 3:22. But 1:45 is when they were seen walking towards that area. So I'm guessing closer to maybe like 2:30 to 3:30 or maybe even like at 3 because then he's seen running at 3:22. So might have just finished and then took off right away, right? So if I were to guess, I would probably guess they probably hung out for a little while. Like I would say probably around 3. I mean, if you guess, like they go to that area and they probably talked for a little bit for him to get the courage to do it or what, however the lead up was. So I would probably guess it would probably happen between like 2:45 to 3. I mean, if he's running at 3:22, he probably just got done doing it. So however long it takes to do what he did, I'd say around 3, yeah. So that was the 9th. Basically, it was the Saturday night late, which it would technically be Sunday because it was past midnight. So it was technically the 9th. And then, so that next day was Sunday because it was Mother's Day. And then he was arrested the 10th. So he was arrested Monday. So they caught him so quick because it was known that Tristan was seen last with him because of social media and, her talking to her friends. So everybody knew, oh, she was seen last with Aiden. So they caught him really quick, which is good. Because who knows if he would have tried to have another victim, try to do it to somebody else the way he is. So that means these messages start after he was already in jail over 3 months, almost 4 months. So basically, almost 4 months since the murder is when these messages start. Okay, so let's read through them here. Okay, let's see how I could zoom in and make it as clear as possible. So you see as I click on each thing, it'll come up here so you can see the whole thing. So it tells you the date that it was sent, the date it was read, and then click on that. So message subject doesn't click when you click on it. And then you have message body down here, reviewer, auto approves. That one's, we're not going to go. Those are just all say the same thing. And then reviewed. So it looks like for instance, so sent and then right away it's reviewed. And then status, read. If it'll say if it's read. And then geolocation, which is blank. And then it will have the sender, recipient, and flagged. So, wow, okay. So it'll have like no flags, yellow flags. Huh, interesting. And they go from bottom up as far as time. So you could see this is 14:03, which would be what, 2:03 p.m.? I'm not sure why when you for the message subject, it doesn't, when you click on it, it doesn't come up. So I mean, you could see the time, but you can't see what's before that, but oh well. Okay, so basically this is so this first one's from Aiden. It's to his dad, Jason Fucci. It got a yellow flag, but it was sent on August 27th. Like I said, it's around 3 months and 3 weeks after the murder. Aiden sends a message to his dad. So it's sent at 1:57, reads it 14:03, so 2:03, so about 6 minutes to probably see the message to read. Okay, so Aiden says, "Hey, what up, Pops? I miss you, man. I just got on the tablet, so I be making the video calls now. Love you." I guess be making the video calls now. Love you. But why does he have IMA capitalized like it stands for or something? Maybe I might as well. I don't know. I'm not I'm not familiar with what all of the abbreviations or whatever you call them stand for. I don't know some of them, but either way, you see what he's trying to say. He's going to start making video calls because they have those tablets in jail. It's approved, auto approved. It looks like it just automatically gets approved. I wonder if there's just like certain words it looks for, and if not, it just like auto approved it or something. Anyway, red. Yeah, so here's where it says sender Aiden, recipient Jason, and yellow flag. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to do all of this with all of them as far as like go over what everything means, but I'm just trying to familiarize you guys with how it's set up so when I go through them, you'll be able to just kind of see. Okay, so August 27th. So he messages his dad at 1:57 p.m. and then he messages his mom at 1:59. So he must just, do them at the same time. Does his dad and then messages his mom a couple minutes after. And she takes a little bit longer to see it and read it because she doesn't read it till 2:20. So she takes about 20 minutes to see it and read it. And he messages her, "Hey mom, love you. I just got the tablet, so I'm gonna make a video call in a little. Love you so much." Okay, so sender Aiden, Crystal Smith is a receiver, and that got a yellow flag. Not sure why. See if we could figure out like what's the difference between the ones that get the flag and the ones that don't have any. So now we have Aiden's dad responding to Aiden. It looks like basically when he reads Aiden's message at 2:03, he responds pretty much right away. At 2:04, even though it takes Aiden around 10 minutes, 9 minutes to read his dad's message back. So his dad's message says, "Okay, I'm still not home yet, but headed there now. I'm about 1 hour out." Okay, so at 2:11, he sends another message. So 7 minutes later, after he says he's out and about and he won't be back for an hour, he sends Aiden another message that says, "Your mom is trying to figure out the video thing." So this time Aiden reads it right away, just a couple minutes after his dad sends it. And then Aiden responds back to his dad, pretty much right after, a couple minutes after. And he says to his dad, "Okay, I just asked the CO. He said I can stay in here till 7 o'clock if I want, because I'm the only one using the thing." And then he sends a message to his mom. So his mom didn't respond to the other one. It sounds like by what his dad's saying is she can't figure it out. And so Aiden's sending her another message. I mean, I guess she's figuring out how to read the messages. Yeah. I mean, I guess his dad's saying she can't figure out the video thing, but so I don't know why she's not responding to the messages. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, so he sends another one to his mom. She reads it a few minutes after it's sent, and it says, "Hey, I'm in here. It's saying something about verification." And then, so Aiden's dad sends another message to Aiden, basically in the same conversation. It's a matter of, some minutes. It says, "Okay, can you text your mom as well?" So he's probably not aware that he is texting his mom. So we'll see if Aiden messages him back saying that he did. Okay. So it seems like the only one that's getting flagged so far is the messages from Aiden. So far every message Aiden has sent as a yellow flag. So let's see if they just flag all of his for some reason because he's the one in jail. I don't know how that works. Let's see. Okay, so I wonder why that one is out of order. It goes by person and time. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. All right, so we have at 2:17, Aiden sends a message to Maisie Mitchell. I'm not sure who Maisie Mitchell is. Is that his grandma? Let's see if there's any hints on who it is. So he sends it at 2:17. She reads it. Oh, she reads it in about 6 minutes. So I don't know if she must have been waiting for it or knew it was coming. That's what I'm not sure if this just shows up as a text message. So if that's the case, it would make sense that they would see it right away. But if it's some kind of like message through the jail that's separate, you would think maybe they're aware he was going to message them. And that's why they're responding so quick. But okay, so So Aiden says to Maisie, hey. That's it. Okay. And then, okay, so now at 2:20, Aiden messages his dad back and says to him, it says you have 2 accounts. Then he sends his dad another message that says, I text her, but she didn't text back. And then his dad responds to him and says, yes, 1 for text and 1 for video, I think. Okay, so that is a response to Aiden's comment where it says you have 2 accounts. So his dad's saying, yes, 1 for text, 1 for video. So that's his dad's response to Aiden's comment. 2:20. Maisie, whoever Maisie is, let's see. Says, hey, thanks, I'm fine though. What? I mean, where is that from? I mean, what is he saying thanks to? And I'm fine. What? Because she hasn't responded to him yet. He says, hey, and then he says, hey, thanks, I'm fine though. Maybe there are some that are missing. Huh. Oh, this is all that they have on record to send. I mean, when you request the files, so this is all we got. Let's see. All right, so now we have one from Crystal. So, okay, so his mom's finally responding back to the message. It's at 2:20. She said, hey, son. And then he responds back. Right back. A minute later. He says, hey, mom. There's 2 crystals on here, so I just texting both of them. Love you. Oh, wonder who the other crystal is. Huh. Well, hopefully she'll say, hey, that's that's me or it's not me. Okay, so then she texts back at 2:21. He reads it at 2:23. It says, I love you so much too, buddy. Are you going to be able to video me soon? And no, so I guess it's not necessarily just flagging his. Hers got a yellow flag. So weird. Yeah, and then this one of his didn't. So I don't know. Because at first, like the first page when I was going through the messages, it was just his that were yellow flagged and the other ones, the ones he's receiving, weren't. So I was like, maybe they're just flagging all of his. Maybe they do that with the inmates. But no, as you could see, here's a couple of his that's not and a couple of theirs that are. So I'm wondering what in there would have flagged. It's so weird. So far it just looks like there's yellow flags. I'm just wondering, is there like something that'll be a red flag where it's like more serious or more flagged? Okay. So yeah, she says that and then he texts her back. So this one, when he's texting her back, he hasn't read hers yet. Because look, he read hers at 2:23. She sent it at 2:21. And he texted her on this message at 2:22. So he actually sent this before he even read hers. And she read it at 2:23. And then, so his message to her says, they're both your name and last name too, but dad has the same thing. I'm in video chat. Okay, so yeah, he texts her, they're both your name and last name too. So that doesn't even make sense that it's both her name and last name, unless if she just kind of registered 2 times, because remember she was having trouble with it, so maybe she accidentally did it twice, and then he's seeing both of them. Okay, so then he's responding to Jason, but let's be reminded what this is a response to. So the last one that he texted his dad, or the last one his dad sent to him said, yes, 1 for text and 1 for video, I think. So this is his response to that. So Aiden responds to him, oh, okay. Let me see how long it took him to respond to that. So his dad wrote it at 2:19. He read it at 2:22. And then, yeah, not long at all. So he responded after he read it. And his dad took 7 minutes to read it. Okay. And then he texts his dad again. These are all just really, kind of just back-to-back messages, just responding as they come. Okay, so then he messages dad again. It says, Mom just texted back, I found her other account. Okay, so it was her other account. So it was just both her, I guess. And then this is from Aiden to his mom. It says, yeah, I'm trying. Huh. That would be, okay, yeah, I'm trying. I want to see what her last message to him was. Are you going to be able to video me soon? Crystal saying that to Aiden. And then he says they're both her name and last name too. Are you going to be able to video soon? And then, oh, so it's a response to that. Okay. Sometimes you have to go back and see what the response is since he's messaging, two people. So yeah, so when she asks him, are you going to be able to video me soon? And then Aiden, this is his response. Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, so this is from Maisie to Aiden. This is at 2:24. He reads it pretty much right after she sends it. And she says, okay, bet. If you ever want someone to talk to, I got time. Huh. Who is this person? Let's see. His last message to her was this one where he says, hey, thanks. I'm fine though. And then his other one was, hey. But remember, we were when we were reading that, it was confusing on why he said that because there's no messages from her that should be a response. So let's go back to the first one. So look, yeah, there's none. The first message interaction is this right here from Aiden to Maisie where he says, hey, she doesn't respond. And then he messaged her again, hey, thanks, I'm fine though. So wonder if it got flagged, whatever she sent him, whether he's responding, it got flagged to a point where they took it off. I don't know. But anyway, this was 4:20, 4:23. Okay, let's see. She reads it at 2:23 and then responds at 2:24. Okay, so I'll read this message again. So this is from Maisie to Aiden. It says, okay, bet. If you ever want someone to talk to, I got time. Oh, we're supposed to be okay, but if you ever want someone to talk to, I got time. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So this is from Aiden to his mom, Crystal, 2:24. She reads it basically right after, and it says, it's saying something about verification. So Aiden's telling his mom, it says something about verification, and then his mom responds basically right after that, but it takes Aiden 13 minutes to read her response. And it says the same on my end too, and I'm not sure why. So it may have taken him so long because he was trying to figure it out maybe. And then Aiden responds to Maisie at 2:25. She reads it at 2:26. And he says, okay. So he's saying okay to her response about, hey, if you need anybody to talk, that she's got time. And then Jason, Aiden's dad, sends a message to Aiden at 2:25. He reads it 13 minutes later at 2:38. He says, oh, she is getting them now. She waiting for you to call video call thing. I'm in the truck now, so you can't call me. And then Maisie responds to Aiden at 2:26. He reads it. Takes him 11 minutes to read it. So it seems like he's responding to all of theirs like around that time. So I'm guessing like for those like 10, 13 minutes, he was trying to figure out the video stuff and verification stuff, I'm guessing. So anyway, so she says to Aiden, so how is it in there? LMAO. Then his mom messages him at 2:29. Aiden reads it once again at 2:37. So takes him 8 minutes. But the thing is they're like sending a few messages and he hasn't responded to any of them. And like there's a 13-minute time window where he, like I said, is probably figuring out stuff. So anyway, his mom says, have you played any games on the tablet yet? And then Aiden's responding to Maisie around that same time. He says, not the best. So that was in response to how is it in there? All right, so now we have a message from Aiden to his mom. And around that same time, at 2:37, he messaged her. She reads it at 2:38. And he says, yeah. Wait, what was the question? Let's go back. We might be doing that to remember if it's in response to something from the prior page. Okay, so her question is, have you played any games on the tablet yet? And that's where he responds, yeah. So that's cool. I mean, I don't know if I should look at it as like it's cool or whatever that they have games they could play on the tablet. It is kind of crazy to think though that they could communicate, basically text on the tablet. I know everything's looked at and read, so they don't really have any privacy, but they're allowed to text people, they're allowed to play games. Technology's crazy, so they're adapting to technology. I know some people would say they shouldn't get that opportunity or that freedom, but let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think it's fair that the inmates have this freedom now where they have these tablets where they could FaceTime, basically, video chat with people and a message? I think it's okay because it's just like visiting, people visiting, but it is, but it isn't, because I know in some jails and prisons, they have more like freedom where they're able to do it whenever they want. They'll have the tablet available whenever they want, so they could just video message anybody whenever. I think sometimes it'll cost money. I'm trying to think if the video message, because I did the with Lori Vallow. I messaged her and I put money on the account because I wanted to talk to her. This is when she first got arrested. I wanted to talk to her, see if she would talk to me. But like it would cost money for her to like message, just like so much per message or whatever. So I put money on, so therefore she would be able to message me. So it does cost money, at least in some jails. I don't know if they're all set up that way to message. So I think hers was basically she could message whenever she wants. It just costs money and video message. So it is a little bit different, like in that regard, where, when there's visiting hours, it's more strict. It's at certain times, right? But for the video message, just like any time, you just go and, oh, let me call my husband, let me call my sister, let me call my mom, and you have that freedom in some jails. I think some jails are more strict, or, like, let me text this person, let me text my friend. So do you think that they should have that freedom and that luxury to be able to message, video message, text? I think it's okay, but I think it should be like certain times. I don't think they should have the freedom to like just go whenever they want and grab the tablet, or if I don't know if some of them actually have the tablet in their cell. I'm not sure how that works. But I don't know if I think it's fair if they just have it at all times and they're able to use it at all times. But if there's maybe just like a required time, it wouldn't be that different than visiting. So, okay, so let's continue here. So Aiden texts his mom again, 2:38. She reads it at 2:38. He says, I played hill climb and some Candy Crush and drag racing. Because think about it, those games pass time. People get addicted and play for like hours. So it would make jail time a lot easier to, like preoccupy your mind and just play games. So is that fair that they kind of have maybe like an easier life in jail? Because that might be what they're doing at home anyway. With the way people are, sometimes there's some people that will just sit there and play video games all day and not even leave, and just eat, sleep, play video games. So how is that any different? If they get to play video games, they get food, they get to sleep. So I see that argument, but let me know. Okay, so, and then Aiden messages his dad at 2:39. His dad reads it at 2:43. So Aiden says to his dad, it says the same thing for you too. And then Maisie texts Aiden at 2:20. Aiden reads it at 2:26. She says to him, yeah, I recently got out after 6 months of Central and Santa Ana. Do you guys have shitty coffee packets too? LOL. I wonder if it's just some random person that he accidentally messaged and then they're like, oh, I'll talk to you. Or is it just somebody that knows the case and was able to request like a friend, like I was able to do it to Lori because they just want to talk to the person. Some people develop this like infatuation with inmates and they think they're in love with him. You see like stories how some of them end up marrying the inmates they never met, or they'll get like tons of love letters and stuff. So I wonder if that's what this is with this Maisie, somebody that just went on the website. There's probably an app for it. I know there was an app for the thing for Lori. I forget what it's called. It's probably the same here. Went on the app, found him, and then requested, for him to be her friend or however that is, to accept her, and then they could message him. So I wonder if that's what this is. I will probably be able to figure it out through the messages, hopefully. Because it looks like, though, they didn't show us some of the first messages, which I wish they would have, because he was responding to her and we didn't see what he was responding to. So I feel like we missed out on maybe the introduction, where if it is just some random person, maybe where the person said, hey, my name is, Maisie. I heard about your case and, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so, yeah. So it looks like it's somebody that's spent some time in jail herself. So then Crystal, his mom, messages him at 2:40. He reads it at 2:46. So she says, "Oh, that's nice. Did you get to finish the rest of your food?" And then Maisie messages Aiden again at 2:43. Aiden reads it at 2:46. She says to him, "This is me, by the way." Wait, what is me? What? Huh. Wait a minute. So maybe it is somebody he knows and she's trying to tell him, like, "Oh, this is me." Could that be? No, I want to be his girlfriend because she wasn't in jail. I don't know. I know his girlfriend's name's Sophie, but like maybe they put in like a different name, a fake name. But it'd probably be pretty hard to put in like a fake name because I think they're pretty strict where you probably have to show your license. I think with Lori's. I know with what's his name from the Dylan Rounds case, you had to like send in your ID. But I'm trying to think what for Lori's was an app. I don't know if I had to send a picture of my license, but I mean, you have to put in information to verify it's you. Okay, so then his dad, Aiden's dad, messages him at 2:46. Aiden reads it at 2:47. So his dad says, "I'm trying to call you now, FYI." And then Aiden responds to Maisie, 2:46. She reads it at 2:47. He responds, "Yeah." So remember, she says, "This is me, by the way." And then he just responds, "Yeah? Okay." Oh, it's probably this. Maybe it's to this question. Do you guys have shitty coffee packets too? That's probably what he's responding to. So he says, "Yeah." And then he says, "The real small ones." And then Aiden sends a message to his mom at 2:46. She reads it at 2:49. And it says, "Yeah." Let me see what that's a response to. Her last message says, "Oh, that's nice. Did you get to finish the rest of your food?" So he's answering about that. So he's saying, yeah, he got to finish the rest of his food. Okay. Now, Aiden sends another message to his mom, and this one gets a yellow flag. So at 2:47, he messages it. She reads it at 2:49, and his message to his mom, it gets a yellow flag, says, "It was a snack bag, so it didn't have any cheese." So I'm wondering if that got flagged because the snack bag, if it's, they're worried that they're trying to say something about maybe like bringing something in the jail or like being sneaky, like where they're going to hide something when they go visit, or you know what I'm saying? Something like that because it says snack bag. People, they'll get creative, try to use like code words or try to like, be tricky with their words to like be able to tell them stuff that maybe, that when they're rereading it, like the people that are reading all the messages, that they don't understand what they're saying, to trick them. And then he writes another message to his mom. And it says, "Just bread and salami." And then he writes a message to his dad at 2:47. His dad reads it at 2:48, and it just says, "Okay." Let's see what his dad said last. It says, "I'm trying to call you now for your information." So that's what Aiden's saying okay to. Let's see what time. 2:46, responds at 2:47. Or reads it at 2:47, sorry. And responds at 2:47. Okay. Okay. So Maisie writes a message to Aiden at 2:48. Aiden reads it at 2:50. It says, "LMAOO. Well, damn, dude, what do you guys do all day? It's probably hella different from the California system." So Maisie Mitchell. That almost sounds like a guy's language, like the way they're writing. But Maisie, that name sounds like a girl, right? Maisie Mitchell. But what was the last thing Aiden wrote to her? The real small ones. I feel like they're not including some of these messages with Maisie. Because okay, he's talking about the coffee packets, right? Let me see. Coffee packets. He's saying, yeah, the real small ones. And then she says this last and says, "Well, damn, dude, what do you guys do all day? It's probably hella different from the California system." It's almost like there's a message somewhere that he wrote to her that's missing because it seems like it's a response to something that he may have said rather than just like what she says out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But it could be. It could work either way where she just says it, but it almost does seem like that because she's like LMAO. Well, damn, dude, like he just said something, But who knows? Okay, so Crystal, his mom, sends him a message at 2:49. He reads it at 2:52, and it says, "When are you able to order your commissary out of your money we send you?" Not sure what all that is, but yep, that one makes sense to be yellow flagged because they could be looking at like, what is that? Is that some kind of code she's trying to tell them? I have no idea. I wonder if it really is. I don't know what it would mean. Okay, so then Jason, his dad, writes to him at 2:50. He reads it at 2:51. It says, "It say I need to be verified. I don't know." Aiden responds to Maisie, 2:51. She reads it at 2:52. He says, well, I just got off SH. Thus is only my first day off. It's probably this is only my first day off. I don't know what SH means. I just got off SH. This is only my first day off. Huh. All right, and Aiden writes to his dad at 2:51. His dad reads it at 2:57. He says, "I tried to call both." And that's a response to his dad saying, "It say I need to be verified. I don't know." He's telling his dad he tried to call both. Probably because he's saying how there's two accounts for him and his mom. He's probably saying that, or he could be saying he just tried to call both, like him. Did he try to call his dad and his mom, or that maybe both of his accounts? Not sure. And then Aiden sends another message to his dad. So his dad, so he basically says, I just tried to call both, and then it says call, and he sends those basically back to back, and his dad takes 6 minutes to read those, to get those. And then he sends another message to his dad. So yeah, he's sending these 3 messages back to back. I tried to call both, call, and then it says the verification thing. And like I said, it takes his dad 6 minutes to read those. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so we have another message to his dad. Basically, they're all like consecutive. So, like right after that last one, and it says, "The tablet is at 39." And then he sends a message right after that to his mom. His mom reads it a couple minutes after, and it says, "You guys can order it, or I can." And that one doesn't get flagged, but this next one that he sends to his mom does get flagged. So, sends another one right after it says, "But whenever it only comes in Tuesday and Thursday." What's he talking about? You guys can order it or I can't. So they're talking about the commissary. Remember his mom was talking about the commissary. So he's saying that the commissary only comes in on Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, so then Macy messages Aiden at 2:53. Aiden reads it at 2:54. It says, "Is everyone there under 18 or are you with adults?" And Aiden messages his mom, 2:53. She reads it at 2:54. He says to her, "Have to make an order before Monday." So he had to order the commissary before Monday. So that didn't get flagged, but that one from Macy did too. There's like no rhyme or reason of which ones are getting flagged. It's kind of weird. All right, so then another message from Maisie to Aiden. She sends it at 2:54, but he doesn't read it till 3:24. So it takes him like a half hour to read her message. And it says, "NGL, I didn't think you'd ever respond. Ha ha ha." But see, that doesn't make sense because there isn't a response from him. Not as far as like her message right here. So they must flag some and take him down. Man, that kind of sucks because I want to read them all. I want to see what he's saying. What's NGL stand for? And then let's look. Okay, let's see what his last message to her was. I'll have to go back to the last one. His last one to Macy was, I just got off SH, thus is only my first day. But he responded, let's see, I just want to see if this could possibly be what she's talking about, if he took a while to respond. So he wrote that at 2:51, and her last message to him before that is 2:48, so it only took 3 minutes to respond. So there has to be a message that they took off because it just doesn't make sense that she said that to this response when he basically responded after a couple minutes. So yeah, they're not including some. Okay, what's NGL stand for, by the way? He did take a while to read that. He took a half hour to read this message, but that's the message where she said, I didn't think you'd ever respond. So something had to happen before where he took a while to respond and then he responded with something. Okay. So 2 of Aiden's responses to Macy, they both got yellow flag. So he reads hers after, I said it takes him a half hour to see and read her message, or see how long it takes him to respond after he reads it. Oh, wait a minute. So he didn't, that's weird. So he didn't read hers. He writes her a message at 2:55 but doesn't read this. He must not see her message. So he writes her message at 2:55. Writes that. She writes that one at 2:54 where he took a half hour to respond, but now he's writing her message at 2:55. She reads it at 2:56. It says, nah, there's a JIT dorm, but there's boys and girls here older than 18. And then he writes her another message at 2:55. So basically back-to-back messages. It says, we just all separated. It's probably supposed to be, we just all separated. But that's weird, okay? He must not have seen her message. Because look, like I said, this one, she writes it, and then a minute later, he's writing her 2 messages, but he never reads that one that she writes. So a half hour later. So yeah, he probably just didn't see it for some reason. Okay, so he writes a message to his dad, 2:56. His dad reads it at 2:57. It says, dang, that dog is getting big. Huh, wonder if he sent him a picture. So I wonder if they're able to send pictures too, see? Like maybe do everything that we could basically do. Text, pictures, video chat. And then Maisie sends him, so she sends him a message at 2:57, so he still hasn't read her message from 2:54 yet. But anyway, so he reads these at the same time. So the one from 2:54 and 2:57, he reads the one that says, I didn't think you'd ever respond, ha ha ha. And then he reads this one. So what does she say to him? She says, damn, well, anything you want to know about me? So it's gotta be somebody that just followed the case and wanted to chat with him, whether she thinks she's in love with him or whatever. Or just wants to be a friend, just wants to get information, just wants to chat, maybe wants to know about what happened. I mean, who knows? There's multiple reasons people reach out to inmates. Okay, so then Crystal, his mom, messages him 2:58. He reads it at 3:25, 27 minutes later. So I'm not sure if he's just not seeing it or maybe just busy doing something else, playing his games or whatever. So it's his mom writing to him. It says, oh, okay, I will look into it. But you can make it so you know what you want to get. What was the response to? Hold on, let me see what he said to his mom. Have to make an order before Monday. So that's her response to saying, oh, okay, I will look into it, but you can make it so you know what you want to get. And then she sends another one, basically right after that. Like I said, he took a while to read those messages. So then she says, is asking me for a 6-digit PIN to make video call, but I don't know how to get it. And then at 3:20, she sends him a message. He reads it at 3:25. It says, I guess we have to set it up on our end still, so it might not be today for me. I'm sorry. I love you, but I will keep trying. Wow, that got yellow flag. All right, so then Aiden texts her at 3:26. She reads it at 3:26. He says, it's okay, Mama. I love you too. The tablet is at 7, so I'm gonna go back to my bat cave and call you again. So is he saying like at 7, like time-wise, like, oh, we could use the tablet again at 7? Or is he saying like battery? It's a 7%. I have no idea. I'm guessing he's saying the time. Maybe that the next time is maybe at 7 and we'll call again. Huh. Let me read that one more time because this got a yellow flag. Maybe I'm thinking because the Batcave word, it says It's okay, Mama. I love you too. The tablet is at 7, so I'ma go back to my bat cave and call you again. All right, so then sends another message. 3:27. She reads it at 3:27. It says, so this is another one from him to her. It says, hey, you can send pics to me. Dad just sent me a pic. Or the dogs. I think it probably meant of the dogs. And then, so Crystal responds back at 3:27. He reads it at 3:30. It says, wait until the battery dies. Your dad is still trying. And there's that weird symbol again. But that one did get a yellow flag. So she sends another message right after that. And it says, I love you more. Wait, let me see what his last message was. So it's not that. It's probably a response to this one where he says, I love you too. And then that's where she's saying, I love you more. Okay. So now we're going to Aiden's dad. So Aiden sends a message to his dad at 3:28. His dad reads it at 3:30. It says, hey, I gonna go back to my bat cave and call y'all. So love you, bye. The tablet is about to die too. It's at 7. Oh, so it was. He was talking about the battery percentage. So the battery's at 7. It seems like when they're using the tablet, they have to probably be out in like a public area where they're supervised. So they go out and use the tablet. So they're probably not allowed to bring it into their cell. So they go out and use it and then they go back in their cell. But I just wonder, are they allowed to just go out there whenever they want to go use it? What do you guys think? And I know every jail is different, I'm sure, their rules and stuff. Okay, so then Aiden sends another message to his mom at 3:30. She reads it at 3:31, and it says, okay. So wait. That's a response to her saying, I love you more. Or I guess it could be a response to wait until the battery dies. Your dad is still trying. The okay. I guess it could be to both, where he just says okay. Okay, so Aiden sends another message to his mom at 3:31. She reads it at 3:31. It says, this thing is real slow when it's low, LOL. Okay, so now we have a message from Aiden's dad to Aiden at 3:33. Aiden reads it at, wow, so he doesn't read it until a couple hours later. So he doesn't read it till 5:43. So he must go back to his cell, I'm guessing, let the tablet charge, and then read it. See, that's only 2 hours later, so that makes me think they could basically go to the tablet whenever they want. Anyway, his dad says to him, love you too. Don't know why that's a yellow flag. And then his mom, yeah, so his mom writes to him at 3:34, but I'm guessing, yep, he doesn't read it till he probably goes to his cell and comes back out a couple hours later. It says, it's okay, love you, and talk to you again soon. And then Aiden responds to his dad at 5:43. His dad reads it 12 minutes later. So Aiden says, hey, Dad, I just got in the video room. And then he writes another message to him that says, I'm going to try to call you. And then he writes one to his mom. His mom reads it basically 3 minutes after he writes it. It says, hey, Mom, I must got back in the video room. Love you. It's probably meant to be, I just got back in the video room. Love you. And then she writes back to him, 5:48. She says, hey, love you more. And then he writes back to his mom, and she doesn't actually end up reading it for 10 minutes, but he writes, I don't know what's up with this tablet. And then Crystal writes back, which is weird because she doesn't read it for 9 minutes, but she writes back after that sent, but doesn't read it. So maybe there is some issues with the tablet where she didn't see it come in or something. But anyway, so she writes to Aiden at 5:50. It says, were you able to video your dad or no? Wow, he doesn't read that for like 12 minutes. So now we're around 6 o'clock. Oh no, 5:50. He writes back to his mom, but still he didn't read his mom's message. It just might be glitching where they're not seeing the other person's message for a minute. But yeah, he writes back to his mom at 5:50, but she doesn't read it till 5:59. It says, can you tell Dad that I'm a try to make to call now? He ain't text back, so I don't know if he saw it. And then There we go. Now his dad's texting him back at 5:55. Aiden doesn't read it till 6:02, which that's the same time he reads his mom's down here. But anyway, okay, 6:02. His dad says, "Did you try?" So then Crystal writes to Aiden at 5:59. He reads it at 6:02. It says, "Okay, I will call him and tell him now." So she's gonna call Aiden's dad and tell him. So it's a response to where Aiden said, "Can you tell Dad that I might try to call now?" He ain't text back, so I don't know if he saw it. Okay, so she said she'll call him. And then Aiden texts his mom, 6:02. She reads it right away. Says, "Thank you," which I'm sure it's thank you. And then he writes to his dad, 6:02. His dad reads it right away. It says, "Yeah, I keep trying." So that's in a response where his dad says, "Did you try?" And Aiden's like, "Yeah, I keep trying." Okay, so he writes another one to his dad, and he says, "I try you and Mom." Then he writes to his mom, "Hey, is yours set up? Because I tried calling you as well." And then his dad writes to Aiden saying, "I'm on the computer trying." And then Crystal writes to Aiden, "It says it's set up." And then Aiden writes to his dad. So these times, they're all just like pretty much one after another. Anyway, so yeah, Aiden writes to Jason, "Did you get the Getting Out Visit app?" Wait, let me read that again. "Did you get the Getting Out Visit app?" So that's Aiden asking his dad. And then another message from Aiden to his dad. He says, "That's what it says. Try." Okay, so let me see what his past messages says. So the message from his dad to Aiden says, "I'm on the computer trying." And then Aiden writes to his dad, "Did you get the Getting Out Visit app? That's what it says. Try." Oh, so he's saying to his dad that it says basically to get the app. And then he writes another message to his dad that says, "Download." Okay. All right. Let's get the next one up. Okay. So now we have another one to Aiden to his dad saying, "Hey, the CO said he gonna pull me out. He was in here helping me." So I'm guessing CO stands for corrections officer. Okay. So then Aiden writes another one to his dad. Says, "He just left. He was like, 'Do what you can because I'ma pull you out in 10 minutes. And then another one to his dad. It says, "Contact not verified." And then one more to his dad. It says, "That's what it says. I copy and paste." And then his dad writes to him. So it looks like his dad writes to him at 6:15. But then Aiden doesn't respond till the next day at 12:19 p.m. So in the afternoon, the next day. So wonder if there's like, because this is 6:14, so I wonder if there's a curfew, like maybe past 7, they can't go out and use the tablet. I'm sure there is at least a curfew is when they can't leave their cells. You would think, I mean. But yeah, so in the afternoon. And then Aiden messages his dad again, says, "That's what it says. I copy and paste." So that's at what? 6:12. And then there's no other messages that day. So the last one is him messaging his dad at 6:14. And then remember, he's saying how the CO is about to pull him out. So probably pulls him out for the rest of the night. I'm sure there's a curfew past a certain time. They can't go out. Maybe past 7 or something. Because the next one is his dad messaging him. Let me see. At 6:15, right? But then Aiden doesn't end up reading it until 12:19 the next day. So the next afternoon. So Aiden probably didn't get back out to those tablets till the next day in the afternoon because it was probably done for the night. So Aiden reads that. It says, "Okay, I'm on the phone with him now trying to get it to work." And then this is still the day before. So his dad's probably not aware that he got pulled out. So at 6:24 that day before on 8:27, which, like I said, Aiden doesn't read it till the next day at 12:19, his dad sends another message that says, "I should be good to go." Probably didn't realize that Aiden was already pulled for the night. Okay, so now Crystal at 8:59 on the 27th, so that night, so almost 9 o'clock, she writes to Aiden, but Aiden doesn't read it till 12:15 the next day, because they probably don't realize, like, when he's allowed to be on it or whatever, because this is all new. This is when they're setting up. It's like their first day was the 27th with this stuff. Anyway, so Crystal says, "I love you. And then she sends another one. Okay, so this is actually the next morning. She sends it at 10:26 in the morning. He doesn't read it till a couple hours later at 12:15 in the afternoon that next day, which is probably the first time he was able to get to the tablets, I'm sure. So maybe they're not allowed to get to him until like noon, or maybe he just slept in and that was the first he got out. But anyway, yeah, 12:15, he ends up reading the message that his mom wrote in the morning and the message she said. So it's going to be too small for you to read it like this. So I'm going to type it out. So when I type it out, I'm going to type it out exactly how she wrote it because there's some misspelling and grammar and stuff. But so it's not me misspelling the words. I'm just going to type it just like she writes it. Hey son, morning, afternoon. I hope you're sleeping a little better. I'm not really sleeping too good either. I'm so happy I got to hear your voice. It means everything to me. It's been so long. I miss you so much. Everything is hard right now, but you have to think to yourself that there will be light at the end of the tunnel, okay? Things will get hard and even harder, and you may want to give up and feel like you can't take anymore, but you have to remember to be strong and take it one day at a time. There is nothing we can do at the moment to change how things are, but we will always be here at the end for you, no matter how much time that may be. We won't give up on you, and you need to keep yourself together for yourself and us. It is what it is right now, and all we can do is pray and stay as busy as we can with what we can do with our time. Remember, you have to eat and keep your body as active as you can in there. Stay doing your little exercises and start a new workout routine with push-ups. You will get used to them and they will be nothing to do. Maybe even some squats and jabs too. Keep reading as much as you can. It's great to keep you busy and your mind open. Don't ever trust any inmates in there either. They are all in there for themselves and how they can get out faster. They are all going to use you and want to be your friend too. So stay to yourself. Call me again when you can, anytime, all day. Love you always and forever. Okay, so probably, maybe they talked. Like these times where it was like 6, his dad saying, right here, let me see, where is it at? Where he's saying, oh, I missed this. This one Aiden wrote at 6:12. His dad read it at 6:14. And it says, contact not verified. Jason Fucci has not completed verification. Until their account has been verified, visitation will be unavailable. So it looks like Aiden's just showing his dad what it's saying on his side. Anyway, so right here where he's saying I'm on the phone trying to get it to work at 6:15, but then Aiden doesn't read it till 12:19 the next day. I'm wondering if they end up talking and they get it to work, the visitation, and they actually end up talking that night. And then this one too from, where it says I should be good to go, where his dad's like, oh, I should be good to go. So maybe they do end up talking. And then Crystal says, I love you. That's at almost 9 that night, 8:59. But then he doesn't read it till 12:15 the next day. Let me see what this one says. Oh, that's the one she sends in the morning. And then he doesn't read it until the afternoon. So I'm wondering if they did talk that night, like around 6, or they got it to set up when his dad was trying to get it to work. And he said it should be good to go. They probably did end up talking because of what Crystal says right here. Okay, so let's continue. So 8:28. 12:19, Aiden writes to his mom. She doesn't read it until 1:02, so it takes her around 40 minutes to read it, to get it or whatever, to see it. But he says, hey mom, I just got the tablet in my room and it's working surprising. Oh, it's working surprising, but I'm gonna go to video chat in a little. Love you. Wow, so he does get the tablet in his room. What? I mean, that would mean he has like constant access to it, or do they take it away like after a certain time? Because that's like almost like, how is that even bad? That's what kids do these days, or adults, is some people just are on their phone or tablets all day, barely leave the house. So how would that be that would be like the same thing in jail. Like their life would be almost the same. It wouldn't even be that bad for some people that just are on the tablet all day anyway. That almost seems like, wow, a little bit too much freedom. So let me know what you guys think about that. If you guys think it's too much, like too much freedom. But anyway, so then Aiden writes to his dad, 12:20. Dad reads it at 12:43. He says, hey, like I just told mom, I just got the tablet and it's working in my room. So I'm going to be in here for a little bit and then I'll go to video chat at like 1 or something. And then Jason responds. So if you're wondering why I'm going to click on this, because it shows up the time sent up here. Hopefully you guys have been following. When you click on this, it pops up here and here. So for a lot of these, if there's not anything interesting about like how long it took them to read or if it took a while, I'm just going to click on it real quick so you guys could see if you want to see the time. And then click on that before I click on the one that has the message. So just in case you guys are wondering why I'm clicking on this and then this one before I click on this, because I'm doing it so you guys could see, anybody that wants to see the times. If I don't say them and I just click on them, just because it, you know, might get too kind of annoying to say them every time, but I at least wanted to click on them. So I'll probably be just clicking on a lot of them now so you guys could see. So like I said, this is when it's sent, and here's the military time, and then this is when it's read. So if I'm going too fast, just like pause it if you want to see the time. So yeah, so I'll just go with this, and then I'll click on it and read it. Okay. He says, I'm headed home now. Should be there in about 30 to 40 minutes. Then Aiden responds to his dad. Okay. And then he writes another one to his dad. It says, he just took me to the video room. And then Jason responds to Aiden and says, okay, I'll pull over. And then he says, okay, I'm ready. Do you know what I do? So he's like pulled over at 12:49, but Aiden doesn't read it for 13 minutes. And then he writes another one, another message before Aiden even reads that one. He writes it at, so basically 4 minutes later, and he says, I'm waiting on you. Do you know what I do by chance? And then, so 2 minutes later, Aiden still hasn't responded. He says, let me know if you see these messages. I'm in the Vista room page. I don't see anything to click on. And finally, Aiden responds to him. Says, hey, dry. I didn't see you text. Probably supposed to say, hey, sorry, I didn't see you text. Yeah, because then he writes him again. It says, sorry, because he was trying to abbreviate it. So he just basically mistyped the S or the D instead of the S. Okay, so then Aiden writes another message to him that says, I'll stay on the text thing, so just tell me again when you're ready. All right. Okay, so then Aiden, or Jason, his dad, writes him. He says, ready. And he writes him again. He says, they say you can do it on the phone. And then Aiden responds. He says, okay. Then Jason writes back. He says, I'm on the room waiting. It's 106. And then Aiden responds, it's not working. And then Jason responds and he says, I see. And then he says, well, I'm 20 minutes from the house. And then he says, trying to be there now. What does it say? And then Aiden says, I'm trying it. And he says, it's just when I click your name, it brings me back every time I go to the video call app and click Jason, Fucci. And then it will beam up your name. I'm sure then it will bring up your name, but it won't go through. It just brings me back. So that's at, wait, what time? He sends that at 1:11. And then he sends his mom one at 1:12. She reads it right away. He says to her, and thank you. I forgot to say that I didn't want you to think I didn't see it. And then his dad writes him, says, same here. So that was a response to what? It just went, okay, the one that says it, when I click your name, it brings me back every time I go to the video call app and click Jason, then it would bring your name up, but it won't go through. It just brings me back. So his dad's having the same problem. And then his dad says, I'm calling them now. And then Aiden writes to Katie Lynn. So this is, okay, so his dad writes him at 1:12. Aiden writes him back at 1:13. And then he writes this Katie Lynn right after that. So he writes as Katie Lynn, he says, hey, who's this? And it goes unread. Huh. So she never reads his message. So I'm wondering, who is this girl and why did he message her? Because it's obviously, it seems like he's writing her in a response to something she wrote because he's saying, hey, who's this? It's not like he's just messaging someone he knows. So I wonder why that message isn't included in here. The message that she must have sent him. Okay, so then Crystal messages him. She says, hey, I'm not sure why it's not letting us video. And with that weird symbol. No flag, though. And then Aiden messages his dad. His dad takes 6 minutes to see it, so maybe he's going home, driving home probably. But anyway, Aiden writes, try to call the people about it. Like, if there's a help number, call that. And then Aiden writes to his mom. Says, I don't know. But what is that too? His mom says, wait, let's see. Hey, I'm not sure why it's not letting us video. And then, yeah, that's what Aiden says, I don't know. And Jason responds to Aiden saying, you have to schedule the visit. There has to be a time to schedule it. Okay. And then Aiden writes Crystal, his mom. And he says, I might try to go back in like 30 minutes to let this charge back and call you guys because Dad said he going to be home in like 20 minutes. And he writes another one to his mom that says the tablet already at 55. Okay, the next page. So now we have Crystal writes back. Okay, I will keep trying. I love you. Let me know when. And then Aiden's dad writes him back saying, there should be some sort of schedule button. You have to pick time and date. Once you click my name, maybe in the text spot, there is a plus sign. Click that and then hit visit now. And then Crystal writes Aiden saying, just bought a laptop to set it up. It might take a few, so I will try and have it done by the time you get back on later. And then Aiden writes his mom saying, okay, love you. And then Jason, Aiden's dad, writes him saying, look next to where you text. There is a plus sign. Hit that and select visit now. And then Crystal writes him saying, love you more. And then Aiden writes his dad and says, okay. And then writes his dad again and says, I don't see it, the schedule. And then his dad writes him, if that doesn't work, maybe ask a CO. They said everything is working fine. And then Aiden responds to his dad saying, okay, I'll ask them. I'm going to go back to my room for a little if it don't work and call y'all and try again later. Battery at 40. And then Jason writes back, but Aiden doesn't read it until 2 hours after his dad sends it. So he probably goes back to the room, charges the tablet, and then doesn't get back on until, what is that, 4:33? Anyway, so he reads it, but his dad writes, okay, we will figure it out, I promise. Let me do some research on it. Love you. And then an hour later, Aiden still hadn't responded because he doesn't respond until 3 hours later because he probably is back in his room or doesn't have, is charging it or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, his dad does it at 1:35, then does another message at 2:35. So his dad says, it wouldn't let me accept the call. Oh, so sometime in the meantime, between 1:35 and 2:35, his dad or Aiden tries to call him. But yeah, he doesn't read it until 4:33. So his dad writes to Aiden, it wouldn't let me accept the call. Okay, and then Aiden texts his dad, messages his dad at 4:33 after he sees his last couple messages. He says, hey, I just got in video chat. He forgot to charge it, so it's at 30. And then Jason responds. He says, okay. And then Crystal writes Aiden at 4:37. Aiden reads it right away. She says, okay, is it letting you try and video chat us? Oh, wait, I missed this message in between. Okay. So he texted both his mom and his dad. So he texted his dad about, he's texting the same thing. So he texted his dad at 4:33. Hey, I just got in video chat. I guess he forgot to charge it, so it's at 30. And then at 4:34, he texts his mom. Hey, I just got in video chat. He forgot to charge it, so it's at 30. And then that's when his dad says, okay. And then Crystal says, okay, is it letting you try and video chat us? And then Aiden responds to his dad saying, I'm trying, it's not working. And then he responds to his mom saying, I'm trying, it's not working. And then his dad responds saying, so you hit the plus sign on the side of your tablet? It's a question he's asking him. And Crystal writes to Aiden saying, geez, that really sucks. Okay, so now we have Aiden responding to his mom saying, I know, with a sad face. Because remember, his mom said it sucks. And then his dad responds to him saying, the only thing left if you're to ask the CO for a form to fill out that the tablet isn't working correctly and it needs to be checked out. And then Aiden writes to his dad, I click schedule a visit and it don't work. It just keeps bringing me back to y'all's name. And then his dad responds back to him saying, I'm at the computer and it still has said anything different. I think he means it hasn't said anything different. And then Aiden writes back to his dad saying, hey, we got dinner, by the way. Apple jelly with peanut butter and a sandwich and a banana. So Aiden's telling his dad that he got dinner. Wait, apple jelly with peanut butter and a sandwich and a banana. Huh. And then Crystal, his mom, messages him saying, I wish they would help you, with a sad face. And then Aiden writes to his dad, I can try to power it off and turn it back on, and the battery getting low. And then he writes to his dad again, 25% now. And then he writes to his mom, they're trying, they don't know what's up with it. I mean, sometimes this thing don't work for weeks, and it would just work out of nowhere. It's at 24% now. But yeah, so now we're looking on 828. At 4:47, Crystal writes Aiden. He reads it right away. He says, well, that's very disappointing. Would love to see you. I'm glad I'm able to talk with you, though. I love you. What is this symbol right here? Well, I'm trying to think. Do you guys know? Is that like a known symbol? I don't know. I can't make it out. All right. So then Aiden. So Aiden writes her back. No, Aiden writes his dad. So this is to his dad. It says, I'll try to call y'all both before shift change and after shift change. And then he writes his mom. I'll try to call y'all both before shift change and after shift change. He wrote the same thing to his mom and dad both again. Then Crystal writes to him saying, okay, son, we will talk then. And then Aiden writes back to his mom saying, I love you guys. Amiga te sir. You Mike Molly te do. What? Huh. I don't know what that means. And then Crystal writes back. But now we're at what? 450. We all love you more with a smiley face. And Aiden writes to his dad. I love you guys. This you, yes. Preston, Dylan, Hannah, Dimon, Kilo, Ryuk, Chaos, and Big King. Alright, and then he writes to his dad another message that says, and the cats, LOL. And then his dad responds. So his dad responds at 4:54, but then Aiden doesn't read it till 5:33. So what his dad writes to him is call now. So I wonder if he ends up calling then. He gets the no, because he doesn't read it till this time. So how would he know to call if he didn't read it? Unless if he just called him now, or his dad just calls him. So maybe they are talking, they do talk before he even reads it. Who knows? But anyway, okay, so we have Crystal writes to Aiden. So, oh wait, so this is the next day. Oh wait. Hold on. Wow. So wait, he writes him at 8:28, so that's 4:54, but Aiden doesn't read it and for how many days? August, like 5 days. He doesn't read it till 5 days, but he's saying call now. So I wonder if he did call him in the meantime, and then he just didn't read it for 5 days, but they talked, through like a video chat or something. Because then you have one from Crystal. Wait, let me see. The next day, so you have 8:28 when his dad says call now, and when they were all talking, back and forth. And then the next day, Crystal at 4:30 the next day, she writes, hey baby boy, just wanted to say hi and I love you to the moon and back. I miss you so much. Can't wait to talk to you again soon. Be strong and keep your head up, son. Love you, Mom. But he doesn't read that until 5 days later. And this time it'll be 4 days from here. So 4 days later at 5:33. So I wonder if he got the tablet taken away for a couple days. Maybe as a punishment. Maybe he got in trouble, because we know he was getting in trouble in there. I should look back at those times he got in trouble and see what the dates are to see if it correlates with these dates. So maybe he did get in trouble. Remember, he was extorting commissary, getting in fights. So I wonder if one of them is gonna match up and then he got it taken away or something. Who knows? Okay, so I looked back at the reports that I have, which I probably don't have all the reports of him getting in trouble. I just have those few, and it doesn't match up with the dates. It's actually a month after this date. So the first date I have of him getting in trouble is 10/28 of 21, and then he gets in trouble of December that same year, and then January that next year, which is basically just the next month, and then October of 2022. But that's not to say that he didn't get into some trouble that I just don't have the reports on. Or maybe it really was the tablets were broke. Who knows? I just don't trust anything he says. Unless if he is just video chat and then they took a few days off of messaging. But we'll see by their next messages. Okay, so he reads it 5 days later. 5 days later from his dad's and 4 days from his mom's last message. So he responds then. After he finally reads it, he says, hey mom, I just got a tablet. I guess it's fixed. Oh, unless if it was broke for 5 days, or he's just lying because he did get in trouble and he doesn't want her to know. Who knows? All right, let's get the next one. Okay, so now we have that same day. So he writes her another message that says the and then he writes his dad a message. And his dad actually doesn't read it for 3 hours, almost 3 hours after Aiden writes it. 5:34, he writes to his dad, but his dad doesn't read it until 8:10. Anyway, it says, hey dad, I just the tablet. So it's probably, I just got the tablet. I guess it's fixed. And then Crystal responds to him saying, hey, son, that's great. And then she writes another message to him saying, you going to play some games? And then he writes back to her saying, yeah, and try to call you guys. And then he writes another message to her that says, I guess sit on the app and wait for the green thing to pop up. Oh, he's saying, I guess sit on the app and wait for the green thing to pop up. And then he writes another one to his mom that says, you got to stay on the app too. And then Crystal responds and says, okay. All right. And then Aiden responds to her or messages her and says, hey, Mom, it's not working, and I brought the CO in here. He said that they're going to get the chief of all the tablets to talk to me, but he leaves at 5 p.m., so I'll be talking to him tomorrow about it to figure it out. But I love you, and I'm going to try to call you guys when I get back. Love you. XOXOXO with a smiley face. All right, Crystal responds back to him and says, okay, I love you more. And then 6 minutes later, he writes another message to his mom, but she doesn't read it for about an hour. Almost an hour later, she reads it. But he says to her, I seen the pics. I love them. LOL. I look young in one and huge in the other. Okay, so now he writes a message to Dylan Hicks at that same day that he was just talking to his mom at 6:11. He says, yo, what's up, bro? But Dylan never reads it. So that one message where Aiden writes to his mom, it says, I seen the pics, I love them, I look young in one and huge in the other, where she doesn't read it for about around an hour after, almost an hour after he writes it. So when she reads it, she responds, and she responds with a message that says, yeah, you're a good-looking boy, XOXOXO. And then he responds to her, hey, I just got lost in some golf game, LOL. I'm sure I just got lost in some golf game, LOL. And then he writes another message to her that says, I'm dry, I didn't call. Oh, it's sorry, because he writes SRY for sorry, so he mistyped the D. It's supposed to be I'm sorry I didn't call. And then he writes her another message. It says, sorry, coming back now. So Crystal responds to Aiden. So that's at what, 7:01? And then he reads it. He doesn't read it till the next day at 1:05 p.m. But she responds, hey, it's okay. I'm glad you're able to play a game on there. Love you, XOXO. And then his dad writes him one at 8:10, which again, he doesn't read it until 1:04 the next day. So he's probably already in his cell. But see, I'm confused. I think it sounds like he has the tablet in his cell. So I'm not sure why he's not checking it all the time. But I mean, you'd think you'd be bored. What else do you have to do, you know? But anyway, so his dad writes him, oh man, just seeing this. Well, let's see. What did he write to his dad last? That he's responding that way. Hold on. So his last message to his dad was, hold on. Right here it says, hey dad, I just got the tablet. I guess it's fixed. Yeah, because he doesn't read it till 8:10. So, which is only like not even 3 hours after he writes it. But anyway, doesn't look like Aiden gets back to the tablet that night. So he writes him another message. Says, out eating dinner, talk with you tomorrow, love you. And then Aiden responds the next day at 1:05 to his dad. He says, "Hey, I just got the tablet. I can't keep getting the phone, so I thought I can try to at least text you." I'm not sure what these rules are. He says he has it in his room and now he can't keep getting it. So, wonder how that is, how that works. Has anybody been in jail like recently in the last year or two, I would say, to know like as far as with these new tablets, like how that works? Okay, so now we have Jason, his dad writing him back. It says okay, and then his mom writes him and says, "Hey son, I love you and I hope you feel better soon. XOXOXO." And then his dad writes him another one that says, "I was wondering when you would call." And then Aiden writes his mom and says, "Hey mom, I can't keep getting the phone, but we had lunch and I'm feeling better. Just keep getting this burp. And then a really bad taste, but we got vector balls and cornbread and 2 hot dogs and 2 slices of bread with a whole bunch of squash." Wonder what a wait, vector balls? Wonder what he's trying to say there, huh? Because we know he's not the best speller. So, I mean, that could be something like we're just missing, where he's spelling it like totally off. So I'm just trying to figure out what he's trying to say. Vector balls. I don't know if anybody has an idea what he's trying to say there. Let me know. Okay. So his dad writes him back, and okay, so his dad writes him back at 1:08, and he doesn't read it until what 4:18. He says, "I look horrible, but I guess we both have long hair." That's what his dad writes Aiden, and then Aiden writes his dad. So even though Aiden doesn't read that for 3 hours, he does write his dad after that message, but he must not see that message. But it says, "Yeah, my bad." Wait, yeah, my bad. It has to be the last one he reads was this one. So it has to be a response to this. "I was wondering when you would call." Okay, so that's when Aiden's responding to that, to his dad. "Yeah, my bad." Okay, so then Crystal writes Aiden and says, "I understand you can't keep calling. It's okay. I'm glad you're feeling a little better. Glad you're eating. You need it. I love you." And then his dad writes him. Again, he doesn't read it for 3 hours, but his dad writes, "I'm taking out tree stumps today." And then Aiden writes his dad, but still hadn't read his last couple messages, but he does write them and says, "Reason I didn't call in the morning was because my belly was hurting real bad. But I throw up and I think it was the refried beans, but just got lunch and we got hot dogs, bread, cornbread, veggies, and a whole bunch of squash." Oh, maybe vector balls were supposed to be vegetables. Because this time, this is the same message he's writing to his dad. He's basically telling him what he had for lunch, like he did his mom. So it would be that same lunch. And so he says veggies here, which veggies isn't in that one before that to his mom. He writes vector balls. I think he means vegetables. And then when he writes his dad, he just says veggies. Okay, so I think the mystery of the vegetables is solved. What do you guys think? You think I'm right? You think he meant vegetables? Okay, so let's continue. And then Aiden writes to his mom. Says, "I love you too," with a smiley face. And then he writes again to his mom, another message that says, "By the way, the game is called SSG2. And then he writes one more to his mom that says, "The golf game I'm playing." And then his dad writes to him. So his dad's writing him all these messages that Aiden's not seeing, I guess, because he's not reading them for like 3 hours. But he's writing him other messages. Like Aiden's writing his dad messages, but has not read these last like 3 or 4 messages his dad wrote. But anyway, his dad said, "Yeah, told you about eating a lot of junk food. Your body isn't pursed to it." Probably meant your body isn't used to it. Probably a typo. And then Crystal, his mom, writes him. Says, "Oh, okay. Is it still kicking your butt? LOL." And then his dad writes him. Order more food soup or whole food. No junk food. Well, a little bit. And then Aiden writes to Crystal at 4:20. So this is after he finally reads all those messages from his mom and dad. He says, "Oh my God, it got 10 times worse. I feel like I'm a throw up everywhere. I got barely walk to this room." And then Crystal writes back. So Crystal writes back at 4:29, but he doesn't read it till the next day at 10:57 in the morning. But Crystal writes, "Did you tell them, Aiden?" And then she writes him another message that says, "I'm so sorry, son. I wish I could make it better. I don't know why they can't give you something to help you feel better. I love you." And then she writes another one that says, "Hopefully it's gas pains and not your appendix. If it gets worse where you can't take it no more and you're throwing up, you really need to tell them." And then she writes him another one. So this time, so those were at 4:37, and then she writes one at, what time would that be? 8:32? No, 7:32, sorry. Yeah, 7:32. "Hey, son. Thinking about you. I hope you're okay. I have not heard from you." With a sad face. "Love you, XOXO." Okay, we're getting there. A couple more pages. Okay. So then she writes him another message. I said he doesn't read any of these till the next morning. She says, "Hey, son. Well, it's now going on after 8 p.m. and still haven't heard from you by phone since 11:30 today. And last text saying you were feeling really bad at 4:20. I sure hope you're just not able to use the phone and you're feeling a little better. I sure am worried about you. I can't wait until I can hear from you again. I love you so much and sure do miss you like crazy. I want to hug you and never let you go. I look forward to our phone calls and to hear your voice. I'm staying strong for you, son, as I know you are for us too. Well, good night, baby boy, and I hope to hear from you by tomorrow sometime. Love you always and forever. Mom." Lots of kisses and hugs. XOXOXOXOXO. And then she sends him another message at, so this would be at 11:45. So she's probably still like worried because she hasn't heard from him. She says, "Hey, buddy, it's me again. I can't seem to fall asleep. Just thinking about you. I hope you're okay." Sad face. And then she writes him in the morning at 9:05 in the morning. It says, "Hey, Aiden, morning. Hope you had a okay night. Thinking about you. Hope to hear from you today. Love you lots, Mom. XOXO." So then Aiden finally responds at 11:01 a.m. She reads it pretty much right away. He says, "Hey, Mama, I love you. I'm feeling a little better so I can walk. Every other like 2 hours or after I eat, it starts to hurt a little. Sorry, I couldn't talk to y'all yesterday. I throw up like 7 or 8 times. I had to keep getting up to throw up. But I'm gonna try to make a call. You guys, I can't make as many phone calls as I used to, but I should be able to make at least 2 or something, and I can hug you forever and ever too." Aw. And then he sends another message to his mom. This says, "And I just started reading the book again, and some crazy stuff going on right now." And then Crystal writes back to him. She says, "Hey, oh my God, it's so good to hear from you. I was so worried all night I couldn't sleep. I'm so happy you're feeling a little better. I understand you can't call very much, but as long as you're feeling better, I already feel better. Just call when you can, okay? Yeah, I'm on chapter 23 and it's pretty crazy. I love you." And then she writes him another message that says, "Are you up playing some games on the tablet?" And then his dad writes him a message that says, "Hey, how you doing?" And then Aiden responds to his dad. And he says, "Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?" Then he writes another one to his dad. It says, "Sorry I didn't call last night. I was throwing up all last night. Throw up like 7 or 8 times." And then he does one more to his dad. It says, "Had to keep getting up, then lay next to the toilet for a while. But like I told Mom, I'm gonna try to call y'all when I get back because I can't get as much phone calls as I used to, but I should be at least getting 2. And then he writes one to his mom. Says, yeah, they're getting kind of boring. I don't know if you can make a grievance about the tablet, so I'm all confused right now. And then he writes another one to his mom. But I'm playing Hill Climb. Well, sorry, Aiden. You're in jail. You're lucky to be able to play games. Sorry if they're getting boring to you. I mean, you shouldn't have any freedom. You're not like to complain, oh, these games are boring. You're freaking lucky to have games to play. Anyway, okay, so his dad writes to him and says, okay, damn, those beans messed you up. Well, I'm out working today, so call your brother or mom. I don't want you to waste a call on me and not answer. Or call your mom first, then me, or whoever. Well, love you. I'll check back here in a little. Hope you feel better soon. And then his mom writes him and says, oh, okay, how's Hill Climb? And then Aiden writes his dad back. Says, thanks. I have a feeling it is not just the beans. I think it's something else, like some digestive problem. And then he writes to his mom. Eh. Wait, what was her question? How's Hill Climb? Oh, that's a response to that. Eh. He must not like Hill Climb that much. Then he writes another one to his mom and says, I might try and play some Candy Crush or something. I don't know. And his mom writes to him and says, yeah, I'm sure they are all going to be a little boring, but better than nothing. You are today. I wouldn't eat anything really spicy today since your stomach wasn't feeling well. Try and eat only bland foods, which are bread, crackers, chips type things. And then she sends another one to him and says, you ate. Oh, she's correcting. Where does it say? Oh, the part where it says you are today. She's correcting that as you ate today. She's asking him. Okay, so he writes his mom and says, yeah, we had mashed potato with cornbread and plain sailed. And so, plain something. And so, oh, and maybe in some red sauce stuff with 2 pieces of bread. Okay, and then he writes another one to his mom. Says, hey, going back now. And Crystal writes back to him. And he doesn't read it for, well, over 4 hours. Because he did say he's going back, so he probably doesn't have the tablet. But anyway, so she writes to him, I love you. And then writes another one. Says, stay away from red sauce. It makes gas pains worse if that's what you have going on. And then his dad writes to him. Says, tell the CO when you see him, ask for the doctor. And then his mom writes him at 6:20. Oh, that's the next day that he's reading it. So when I said 3 hours, no, look. 9:04, that, where is it? Where did I show that? Right here. That's not until the next day. So they're 12:31 noon, I mean in the afternoon. And then he doesn't respond till the next day, or he doesn't read it till the next day at 4:47. Same with this one. So then his dad is telling him to tell the CO that you need a doctor, and then Crystal's writing him at 6:20, and like I said, he doesn't read it until the next day at 4:47. She says, hey son, I just wanted to say I love you and I'm thinking about you always, XOXO. She writes him another one at like 11:41 p.m. He doesn't read it till the next day at 4:47 p.m. She says, hey there, it's now almost midnight and I can't seem to sleep. Probably just going to read a little. Just wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you and I hope you're feeling better. Hope you're able to sleep a little better tonight since you had a couple pretty rough nights already. Well, I can't wait to hear from you again. I love you and everyone else said to tell you the same. Stay strong one day at a time. Love you always, to the moon and back. Mom, XOXOXO. And then she writes him another one the next morning at 9:17 in the morning and says, hey, morning, son, I love you, XOXO. And then she writes him another one at 12:42 in the afternoon. Says, hey, how are you? Nothing much going on here. Just same old thing. Thinking about you. Love you. And he finally responds at 4:49. So she doesn't read it till 5:20. So he writes his mom, hey, love you, mama. We just ate dinner. We had bologna with a banana. And he writes his dad. Says, hey, dad, I saw the pic of you. LOL. You getting a lot of gray hairs, and you look like your eyes are lighter too. But love you. And we had got that bologna and a banana for dinner. And then his dad writes him back. Says, love you too. Just getting up from my nap. Doing invoices right now. And then his mom writes Aiden back. Says, oh, okay. I love you too, son. So what is she responding to? Let's see. What did he write to her? I love you. We just ate dinner. Oh, about what he had for dinner and stuff. So she's saying, oh, okay. I love you too. Because he also said that he loves her. Okay. So then she writes him again. And says, are you playing a game online? And then he responds. Says, no, I can't play online. Only offline games. And then he writes his mom another one. It says, I was playing Candy Crush, but I ran out of lives. So he's probably saying I just ran out of lives. And then she writes back. Oh, okay. Well, I won't have signal till 7. But if you can call later. If not, I love you so much and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Keep your head up and be strong. Love you forever, Mom. XOXO. And then he writes his mom. And says, I can try to call you after 7. And then she responds. So wait. She responds. So that's 6:04, but then he doesn't read it until the next day at 4:06. But she says, okay, try after 7 to give me a little time to get inside. Love you. Grandma said hi and she loves you. XOXO. And Crystal writes him another one. So this is the next day at 11:30 a.m. He doesn't read it till 4:05, but she says, hey, morning, son. I hope you had an okay night. I love you so much. All right, so this looks like the last page, I think. I'll have to double check when we get through it. Okay, so Aiden writes his mom. So this is 9. So September 6th at 4:06. He says, hey, I love you too. Then he writes his dad. So he writes his dad. He says, hey, Dad, love you. I'm going to be calling y'all in a little bit. Tell everyone I said love them. Then his dad responds and says, okay, working on Dylan's truck. We just pulled a trans from the pulled it place, hope. Wait, from the pulled it place. Hope it works. Love you. Oh, Dylan. So wait, is Dylan his brother or sister or? Huh. Because remember he tried to write somebody named Dylan Hicks and they never responded. So it's probably this Dylan that his dad's talking about. And Crystal writes him back. Says, so I looked into that book with J.R. Ward, and I guess it's the first book in that series. The first one is Covet, Crave, Envy, Rapture, Possession, and Immortal. What did you have to eat today? And then he writes his mom back. He says, okay, well, I guess get the 2 book in the series, but we ate hamburger helper stuff with chopped up carrots and sealed with a brownie. Oh, and salad with a brownie. And then his mom writes him back. Says, okay, I will order it. Love you. And Aiden writes her back. He says to her, I love you too. And he writes her another one. And says, and thanks. And then Crystal writes him back. Says, XOXOXO. And she writes him. This is the next day at 8:02 in the morning. She writes him. He doesn't read it till 10 in the morning, so a couple hours later. But she writes, morning, Aiden. I love you. And then his dad writes him at 8:51 in the morning. He reads it at 10 in the morning or 10:06 in the morning. His dad says, "Good morning." And then Aiden writes his mom back at 10:06. He says, "Hey, morning, love you." Then he writes his dad back. "Hey, good morning, Pops. Love you too, and I'll talk to y'all later today." Then his mom writes him back at 10:11 in the morning. "What are you doing?" And then Aiden writes his mom back. So he writes his mom back at 10:18 in the morning, but she doesn't read it till 11:21 in the morning. So he writes to his mom, "Playing Candy Crush. Day going real slow. I guess no commissary came in, so I figure I might just play some Candy Crush." And then Crystal writes him back. So she writes him back at 11:22 a.m., but he doesn't read it till 8:31 that night. But she writes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I wonder why it did not come today. That really sucks. Hopefully Thursday. I love you." And with those weird symbols, what are... I'm still trying to figure out what those symbols are. Maybe it's like some, inside joke or thing between them. Maybe I'm just silly and I don't know all the symbols. Okay, so then she writes him another one. So at 6:30, but he still hasn't read the one she wrote him at 11. But anyway, so she writes him at 6:30. He reads it at 8:30 as when he reads her first one. So he must not look at the tablet or have the tablet till 8:30. But anyway, so she writes him, "Hey, I hope you're okay. I hate not hearing from you all day. I love you and miss you." So let me see so she heard from him at 10 in the morning, but then hadn't heard from him. So when she writes at 6:30, so about 8 hours, she writes him at, well, let me look at 10 in the morning. So he writes her back at 10:18. She reads it at 11:21. So when she writes that last message to him, she hadn't heard from him in 8 hours. So it's understandable where she's a little concerned. She said, "I haven't heard from you all day. I'm getting a little worried." So let's see, when does he read it? So he ends up reading it at 8:31. So it'll be 10 hours before he ends up reading it. She sends him another message at 9:17. Oh, these are going unread. Huh. So these are this is the last page, I'm pretty sure, too. So when she's worried, "Oh, I haven't heard from you all day," then he doesn't read anymore. So the messages stop. Anyway, she writes, "Hey, Aiden, I know, me again, but just thinking about you all day. Not sure why you couldn't call out, but I hope everything is okay. I just want you to know I love you always, and you're always on my mind, son. Mom, XOXOXO." And then his dad writes him. His dad writes him at 6:36 a.m. the next day and says, "Good morning." And then his mom writes him again at 8:39 a.m. and says, "Hey, morning. Hope you had an okay night. Hopefully they will let you call out today. I love you." So this is when these messages stop. So I'm wondering if they just got a different setup, like a different tablet or something, or then the messages didn't come with the discovery, the rest of them. I'm not sure, but dang, if the messages stop for how long and they don't hear from them, they're probably freaking out because she doesn't hear from him for 8 hours and she's freaking out. Not freaking out, but "Oh, I haven't heard from you all day." And then all of a sudden, yeah, she doesn't hear from him at all anymore. Unread. But I don't know. I don't know what ends up happening. That's all they gave me. So I don't know if they do continue. They maybe have another tablet because this is only 2021. So maybe they do get another setup where he communicates with him. But then I'm not sure why that wouldn't be included in this discovery that I ordered. Because wouldn't it all be included? Unless if it's because it's so long after the crime that they just don't think they need to include it. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, that's all of them. So, I mean, I know it's not too interesting, but it's kind of neat to see their conversations and their mindset of, what's going on and, their dynamics of their relationship. And it seems like they have a close relationship. I mean, it seems like they have a good relationship, So as far as just as good as anybody else, I mean, I feel like it's probably pretty normal it seems like. I don't know, what do you guys think? I know you can't tell like too much just for messages back and forth, but you could kind of tell like the love and the, the way they talk to each other and how their communication and how close they are. And it does seem like they seem like they have like a regular relationship of how old is he? So he's what, in 2021, 14, 15-year-old kid. I mean, it just seems like that would be pretty typical of what how a 14 or 15-year-old kid would respond to his parents, if not even somewhat better than some typical relationships that a teenage boy would have with his parents. The fact that, he's very open to say he loves them, and they just the way they talk, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's any excuse for him. Sometimes it's like, oh, they had a horrible upbringing, they were abused, and you could sometimes give them an excuse or kind of understand somewhat where it came from. I mean, I can never understand somebody killing somebody, but if somebody's been like abused their whole childhood, and you could kind of like, okay, I kind of get it. It kind of makes sense in a messed up way. But with this case, it doesn't, because he doesn't seem like he had a bad life at all. He had a loving family. He had loving parents, from what I can see. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so I'm going to go edit this up and get this out for you guys. Have a good day, everybody. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love reading your comments, and let me know what you think about him getting that tablet, and if anybody's been in jail recently and how that works. If they actually do let you keep that tablet in your cell and you could just message anytime you want and like video chat, it's pretty crazy. But of course, he was just in jail there. So when he got sentenced last month, he'll be in prison. So I don't know if it'll be like how that'll change things, prison compared to jail. But okay, have a good day, everybody. Bye.